Hi, my name is Adriana Binti Anwar. My student ID is 2026 108525.
Hi, my name is Samika Dilamitin Marsa. My student ID is 2026 110105.
Hi, my name is Ayatasha Mitawasli. My student ID is 2026 106679.
Hello, my name is Sharifah Ayana Pintu Studies Design. My student ID is 2026 1068 and 3.
Question A, Part A. Sarah intends to purchase an electronic shooter priced at 4,500. She currently has 3,800 inside her saving. She is considering the following two financial options. So we have option 1 and option 2. Option 1, deposit her 3,800 into a saving account that paid 4.5% interest per annum compounded monthly for 2 years and purchase the scooter at the end of the period. Option 2, purchase the scooter immediately by withdrawing her saving and taking a loan for the remaining 700. The loan charged an interest rate 6% per annum compounded annually for terms of 2 years. Based on the two options above, determine which option will be more financially wise for Sarah. Support your answer with relevant calculation and reasoning. Based on the given data that we see, we have P is equals to 3,800, R equals to 4.5%, M equals to 12, and T equals to 12 years. So, to find the accumulated amount of future value, we use compound interest formula that is S equals to P bracket 1 plus R per M MT. After we substituting our value into the formula, we get the total accumulated amount for the option 1 is 4,157.60 cents. To find the difference, we subtract the two amounts. So for 4,500 minus 4,157.60 cents, and we get 342.84 cents. This shows that under option 1, Sarah only needs to pay an additional 342.84 cents. So now let's move on option 2. For the option, the data given is P is 700, R is 0.06 or 6%, M is 1 because it's compounded annually, and time is 2 years. So for this question, using the standard formula is S equals to P in the bracket 1 plus I close bracket N. So after we substituting our value in the formula that we have, we get the total of the future value is 786.52 cents. So, in conclusion, option 1 is more financially wise for Sarah because the total cost is lower. She only needs to pay an additional 342.84 cents ringgit. Meanwhile, under the option 2, she has to pay a much higher amount of 786.52 cents to settle the loan.
Okay, so now look at the question first. Amira is planning for a future investment project. She estimates that RM 17,000 will be required in 7 years to acquire new asset. Okay, along with an additional RM 5,000 as a backup fund, she deposits RM X today into an investment savings account that earns 4% interest, compounded quarterly. Okay, which means compounded quarterly is 4. Okay, determine the value of X. Okay, so now we need to find the S. We need to find the X. Okay, so we have S. The S is RM 17,000. Okay, but you need to plus 7,000 with 5,000 because, okay, now let's look at the wording of the question. Okay, they said estimates that RM 70,000 will be required in 7 years along with an additional RM 5,000 as a backup fund. Okay, so you know that RM 70,000 is S, okay, but they said along with an additional RM 5,000. Okay, you need to plus RM 17,000 with RM 5,000 equals to 75,000. Okay, this is the total amount needed in the future, which is 75,000 is S. Okay, we have I. Okay, the I is 0.04 over 4. Okay, the T is 7 years. Okay, so now we need to find X, which is we need to find P. Okay, so next, we apply the compounded interest formula, which is S equals P times 1 plus I to the power of N. Okay, in this case, we already have our future value S, which is 75,000. Okay, we substitute P with X, which is the principal amount that we need to find. Okay, so the question becomes 75,000 equals X times 1 plus 0.04 to the power of 4 times 7. Okay, to simplify the exponent, 4 times 7 equals 28. Okay, now to solve for X, we need to move the entire bracket to the other side. This gives us 75,000 over 1 plus 0.04 over 4 to the power of 28 equals X. Okay, after calculating, we get the final value of X, which is 56,762 ringgit and 67 cents. Alright, so this is the final answer for the question number 2.
Question 3 for part A. Fatah is planning to purchase a house in the future. He deposits 12,000 ringgit into a savings plan that earns 5.5% interest compounded monthly. To prepare for the down payment, 3 years later, he faces unexpected expenses and withdraw 800 ringgit from the account. The remaining balance continues to grow at the same interest rate for another 4 years. For question A, we need to calculate the total accumulated amount in Fatah's savings account at the end of his savings period. So we need to identify the information. by principal is 12,000 ringgit, interest rate is 5.5%, compounded monthly. The first investment period was 3 years, withdrawal 800, second investment period was 4 years. Using the compounded formula, which is S equal to P1 plus I, and then we substitute the information into the formula, which is going to be S equal to 12,000 ringgit 1 plus 0.055 over 12 times 3, and the answer is going to be 14,147.38 cents. Then we need to subtract it with the withdrawal amount, which is going to be 14,147 ringgit 38 cents minus 800 ringgit, and it's going to be 13,347 ringgit 38 cents. Then we need to calculate the accumulated amount for the balance 4 years. We're using the same formula. We substitute the information into the formula, which is going to be S equal to 13,347 ringgit 38 cents 1 plus 0.055 over 12 times 4, and the final answer is going to be 16,623 ringgit 51 cents. For question A. For question B, we have to determine the total interest earned by the end of his saving period. So we have to find the effective principal after withdrawal, which is we have to use the 12,000 ringgit minus 800, then we get 11,200 ringgit. Then after that, we have to find the interest by using the final accumulated amount, which is 16,623 ringgit 51 cents minus 11,200 ringgit, and the answer is going to be 5,423 ringgit 51 cents. For the last question, based on your calculation, determine whether Fatah's savings will be sufficient to reach 16,000 for his down payment. Provide your reason. So his accumulated amount is 16,623 ringgit 51 cents, and the house down payment is 16,000 ringgit. And if we subtract together, we get the balance 623 ringgit 51 cents. So yes, Fatah's saving will be sufficient because he has 623 ringgit 51 cents more than the required 16,000 down payment.
Part B, question 1. Datuk Darwish's grandmother left an inheritance of Rm 1.6 million, which was divided in the ratio of 5/2/3 among Datuk Darwish and his two sisters, Darwisha and Damira. Datuk Darwish used his full share as a down payment for Rm 3.6 million printing business facility. He then applied for a bank loan to cover the remaining amount. The long term is 25 years with an annual interest rate of 3.7% compound monthly. So for part B, question 1A, find the monthly payment. So first, we calculate Datuk Darwish's inheritance share using the ratio of 5/10 times Rm 1.6 million, which gives us a down payment of Rm 800,000 ringgit. Next, we subtract this down payment from the Rm 3.3 million's property price to get our total bank loan amount, which is Rm 2.4 million. So for interest rate K is 3.7%, for the compounding frequency M is 12, the periodic interest rate I is 0.037 over 12, and the total loan term is 25 years times 12, which gives us 300 months. To find the monthly payment, we substitute all these values into the present values of annuity formula. After calculating the entire formula bracket, we get a value of 195.5363898. Finally, by dividing Rm 2.4 million by 195.5363898, we get our previous monthly payment of Rm 12,273.93 ringgit. So that's all for this question. So next, moving on to question B, we need to calculate the total interest charge. To do this, we first find the total amount paid by multiplying our monthly payment of Rm 12,273.93 ringgit by 300 months, which gives us Rm 368,217 ringgit. Then, we subtract the original non-principal of Rm 2.4 million from this total amount. So, the balance is the total interest charge, which equals Rm 1282179 ringgit. That's all for this question. Question 1C. If he fails to pay the first 4 monthly payments, find the amount he has to pay on the 5th payment in order to settle the outstanding area. For question C, since Datuk Darwish missed his first 4 payments and wants to settle everything on the 5th month, we must use the future value of annuity formula, where n is equal to 5. We plug our monthly payment of Rm 12,273.93 ringgit and the periodic interest rate into the formula. So, after solving this entire bracket, give us a total outstanding arrears payment of Rm 61749.26 ringgit. That's all for this question. Immediately after paying for 18 years, he decided to settle the balance of the loan. Find the settlement amount. Finally, for question D, we want to find the full settlement amount of 18 years. The total loan term is 25 years, so subtracting 18 years leaves us with a remaining period of 7 years, which is equivalent to 84 months. To find the early settlement balance, we apply the present value of annuity formula for this remaining 84 months. Using our monthly payment of Rm 12,273.93 ringgit, the final settlement amount comes out to Rm 907,087.34 ringgit.
This is question 2 for part B. A private clinic purchased a diagnostic scanner for 210,000 ringgit. The clinic agrees to repay the debt by making monthly installment of 4,500 ringgit at the end of each month. If interest is charged at 10% compounded monthly, calculate the total number of years required to settle the balance in full. So we need to identify the given information by present value A is 210,000 ringgit, monthly payment R is 4,500 ringgit, annual interest rate is 10% or 0.1, and it was compounded monthly. Then we need to use the present value of an annuity formula, which is A equal to R 1 minus 1 plus I minus N over I. Then we substitute the known values into the formula, which is going to be 210,000 ringgit equal to 4,500, 1 minus 1 plus 0.1 over 12 minus N over 0.1 over 12. Then we rearrange the term to solve for the asymptotic part. We use the log in of both sides, which is going to be minus N equal log 1 minus in bracket 210,000 ringgit over 4,500 ringgit, close the bracket, and then in bracket 0.1 over 12 in close the bracket over log 1 plus 0.1 over 12. Then you can settle it by using your calculator, and we get the answer is minus N is minus 59.34 equal to 60 monthly payments. Then we use 60 over 12 months in a year. We got answer 5 years.
I just had to let you know you're